This is Access 2019, Module 3, Part 6. In this segment, we will be creating a query with multiple criteria. These criteria are going to be combined in an AND combination, which means both criteria must be true for a record to be selected. You're going to see in a few minutes that in order for an AND combination to be created, the criteria must be on the same row in the design view. So let's get back into our Lakewood database, and we will go ahead and create a new criteria using query design. We're going to add both the patient and the visit table. And again, I like to enlarge my list so I can see all my fields. Now we're ready to add some fields to our query. So we'll start with the first name, followed by the last name, followed by the birth date, followed by the phone, and finally the city. From the visit date, from the visit table, we're going to add the visit date and the reason. So our first criteria is we want to see anyone whose birth date is on or before 12/31/1970. So on or before, we go to the criteria row under the birth date field. On or before is less than or equal to. Equal to means on that date. Less than means before that date. So it has to be both. 12/31/1970. We tab out, we notice it adds in the pound symbols or hashtags around the date field for us. And the next criteria is going to be in the reason field. Now, if we want both of these fields to be combined in an AND combination, then they must both be on the criteria row under each of their respective fields, but on the same row. So we're going to add influenza as the criteria under reason. When we tab out of that, it puts it in quotes for us. Since these are both on the same row, when we run this criteria, it will only select those records that meet both criteria. They both have to be true. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to run this query. And you can see that we have two records that have a birth date prior to that date and a reason of influenza. And we're going to save this query and we're going to call it older. And I like to do all uppercase on this to emphasize if anybody goes back and looks at their database later that this is an AND combination. But you don't have to do that. The book certainly doesn't. So older and flu patients. So this is an AND combination. We're going to go ahead and look at these again and make sure that you understand. both criteria have to be true for the records to be selected when they are an AND combination. And what's making them an AND combination is both criteria are on the same row. They're on that criteria row. They do both have to be under their individual fields that they relate to, so you cannot stick them in the same box and put the word "and" in between them. They have to be under the field that they relate to. So I'm going to go ahead and close that query.